Welcome back to another episode of MyAnimeList reviews. Today's anime, Demon Slayer. Just a quick heads up if you haven't seen the show yet, this video will contain spoilers.
お前もうやめろ。
なんで邪魔するんだ。お前には関係ないだろ。なんだよその顔。やめろ。なんでそんな別の生き物見るような目で俺を見てんだ。
Well, I'm late to this party. Time to review the most overrated shonen garbage of the last 5 years. Demon Slayer is an anime that absolutely everyone watched last year, except for me of course, because I was watching bad hentai to make comedy reviews on the internet. The anime was pretty lit before the yellow kid and the pig man got introduced. Their character design is horrible. The constant whining of the yellow kid and the irrational behavior of the pig man is hurting me. 1 or 2 times, fine, but they just kept doing the same thing every single episodes. The story also dragged on at the same place for a few episodes of useless scenes. Okay, so, I'm not going to say what everyone else has said on this site. In summary, Demon Slayer's story is bad, but the animation is good. I do agree in some regard, this was overhyped. Because let's be honest, this is not Attack on Titan storytelling, but it is okay. So let me break it down because this is getting out of hand. Story, 7 out of 10. Art and sound, 10 out of 10. Can I give a higher score? Character, 8 out of 10. Overall, yes, Demon Slayer is overhyped, we know, but come on, stop the hate. Not everything can be perfect, and Demon Slayer is definitely not, but you should still give Season 1 a chance, and if you like it enough, continue with Mugen Train in Season 2, because this is a decent show. Overall score, 8 out of 10. Okay, you may say, oh, you give it a low qualification because it's popular, but I have no good reasons for this. First, animation. One of the best I've ever seen. It greatly improves the drawings from the manga, and the effects of the Tech of Breath are beautiful. Story. Okay, at first I enjoyed it a lot, but little by little it is trying to simple, sad beheadings. And many deaths of the characters are already meaningless and the story sometimes goes nowhere. Sound. I am not an expert in sound effects, but I like to research on the subject and I think that the sound effects could be much better. And speaking of music, I would give it a 7.7 as a minimum. I mean it is cool, but I feel like it lacks feel and rapidity in some moments. Character. As I said before in the history section, not sure what they're talking about because there's no history section here. At first they were all very interesting, but then they become a little flat characters and the few very interesting characters with the possibility of always standing out or die or put excuses to make them disappear and become flat like a paper. Okay. Enjoyment. I don't have much to say about how much I enjoyed it, only the animation brought me. Overall, it's not a bad anime or anything, it's very easy to enjoy and I think that has made it so popular. Apart from the animation, but it's definitely overrated and the fans who put it as if it were the best give me a little disgusted. I think this series has surpassed reviews and become a culture. The scenery, music, art, characters, sound effects, lessons, humility, determination, understanding, compassion, and love that went into the show is matched by none and rivaled by few. I was reluctant to start it when it first came out. Oh, it's just another mindless monster killer show. Boy was I wrong. Everything about this show is spectacular. It's emotional. It lays bare the characters' emotions and drive for the audience to take as they will. I am just writing what I think will summarize the show, but in reality, it's beyond reviews and acceptance. It's an icon. I can only hope that the success of the show and movie will continue, so that we could watch this bud blossom. Season 1 is just an introduction. It is just getting started. Oni-chan vs. Michael Jackson. Who wins? Kimetsu no Yaiba is totally epic. This is one of the first animes I watched and boy am I glad it was. This is a personal favorite of mine and for good reason, so listen up because this is an anime you cannot miss. If you have ever seen a shonen anime and dedicated some time to thinking about what makes these shows tick, Demon Slayer will offer absolutely nothing new for you. There is not a single creative idea in it. You might be thinking, I don't care about creative, I just want something that's slick and well executed. The problem with that is that you could still do way better than this. Kimetsu no Yaiba, for some reason this anime have a high score. I wouldn't say that this anime is so bad, but still is bad. Story, 1. Is there something good at least? Not really. If you are interested about why, just search on YouTube a good Kimetsu no Yaiba review. Those who has 30k dislikes, they're gonna say the same as me, just in a funny way. But here a summary. This anime don't risk in anything, and just go with the path that someone wrote years ago. Art, 10. One of the most beautiful animated animes that I have ever seen. These kind of animes are so strange, and it's really painful. You can describe it simple, is a rotten cake with good cream. Sound, 10. Good. Characters, 1. The protagonist doesn't have sense most of the time. There isn't a good development too. Most of them generic characters and some waifus. Enjoyment, 1. Doesn't matter how much godlike cream you could put in a rotten cake, it still tastes bad. So bad. Overall, 2. The animation is perfect and the soundtrack is very good. That's a fact. But that's it. The story is weak and completely cliche, and the development of the characters simply does not exist. The narrative comes down to the protagonist, Tanjiro, finding a very strong enemy and taking power from the ass to win. It's an extremely overrated anime, and it's far from the best anime of 2019. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not reading all this. Despite any reluctance you might have to watch the show, maybe because it seems like a very generic shonen, maybe because it gained a huge amount of hype you might start being skeptical about it, maybe the whole demon slaying thing is not your thing. Demon Slayer is truly a noteworthy piece that will go down the history of anime as one of the classics, I'm sure. A masterpiece. All of the negative reviews or sub 7-star reviewers nitpick and only focus on the smallest, insignificant things ever. You don't see any of them talking about details such as the incredible soundtrack during emotional scenes. Absolutely the best anime I've watched up to date. I teared up multiple times during this anime. Incredible artwork / animation, character development, soundtrack, and storyline. Every episode flowed so smooth and I just kept wanting more and not stopping until I inevitably binged the whole thing. Not a single episode was boring. I regret not have seen this earlier when it came out. I now realize how hyped this anime is. 10 out of 10. I need a season 2. By the way, if you were wondering what my score of the show was, it's a 9.